Taking a walk up to Castle Crag this morning to stay a little bit lower and to take some photos of the higher fells which seem to be covered in snow. So it's a nice short walk of about 5 miles. I'll do a loop to Seatoller and come back down the banks of the River Derwent, which should be quite nice. Castle Crag is the first fell that I did when I decided to formally start the Wainwrights from scratch in early 2017, and I remember coming up here. I've never been here before, and the day after I did haystacks, and it'll always have nice memories for me. Absolutely one of my favourite bridges, this. Confession time. On the fly route change, due to a herd of about 20 cows stood on the banks of the River Derwent, I admit I'm not walking through a herd of 20 cows, so I'll go the shorter, steeper route to the top of Castle Crag. Back on track, avoided the cows and found a little shortcut. Anyone else not very fond of cows? I once got charged about 10 years ago when I was fishing. I had to jump over a fence to avoid being trampled, and ever since I've avoided them like the plague. I've turned back and abandoned walks because of cows on the path. Hate them. No, well, I like them. I don't like associating with them very often. Little friendly robin there, following me for a few 100 yards. Off he goes. People often say they come back as robins, but I think that's a cop-out because there's hundreds of robins, so how would you know? I think I'm going to come back as a, I don't know, grey wagtail or a yellow wagtail or something like that. Then you'll know it's me. Starting the nice slow ascent. Few people around now, lots of good mornings, lots of comments on the weather. Getting to the point where we now turn left for Castle Crag ascent. The route is up the path, across that wall, across the second wall, and then up all the scree. So off we go. Winding our way to the top now. Some great views opening up, and you can see the snow on the higher peaks. New sign, never seen before. There's Derwent water. Northern Fells behind. There's snow remaining on the tops. And here's the summit. With the memorial. Good place to be remembered. The view over to Rosthwaite Fell and Glaramara. Down from Castle Crag now, and just approaching the main path that takes us down to Seatoller. You never stop discovering when you're walking in the Lake District. So whilst I've done Castle Crag a number of times, whoops, and I've walked that main path a few times, I've never been on this little bit. There's where we've been, Castle Crag. There's Derwent water. And we're looking down to Cat Bells. And then we've got Maiden Moor and High Spy on this range, going over to Honister that way. Making the way down to Seatoller now on this path, which looks like a straight line on the map but isn't. It's a lovely route though. I've never walked this stretch before, which is an omission. Looking at the mountains in the background with the snow on, and they never seem to get any closer, and it always reminds me of sort of 1990s racing games when you were driving a car on the Sega Mega Drive, and they were always in the distance, just like that. Missed the 90s. See Rosthwaite Fell, Glaramara, and then you've got Allen Crags and Seathwaite in that direction. Pretty spectacular. So there's Seatoller against the backdrop of Glaramara. Rosthwaite Fell to Rosthwaite. Then I'm heading back down this path and we'll eventually end up back at the car park. Got a little bit lost there, went off track, but we're back on course, so we need to follow the path down, then through the woods, and we should be there in about half an hour. There's Glaramara, Seathwaite Fell and Base Brown. Anyone familiar with this area? That's the Glaramara Hotel there. Aptly named. And I'm now just walking back, I guess, through the woods until I get where I'm going to. Nice chain here to help me across the rock face. Very thoughtful. There's an idea. Love this outside the YHA. Wonder how many miles they've all done. Right, so crossing bridge here. Looking up the River Derwent. And down the River Derwent. It feels like this. High degree of bull paranoia now. Probably nothing in here that's more harmful than a sheep. But you never know what's over that hill. Oh look, there's Castle Crag. Gets about, doesn't he? Oh, here we are. I'm back at the car park. Wonderful.